Hey, Tim Storm here from Storm Writing School with another writing craft term, this time designing principle. Designing principle is a concept from John Truby in his book, The Anatomy of Story. He defines it as the overall strategy for how you will tell your story. And then he piles on some other descriptions of it, saying it's what organizes the story as a whole, it's the internal logic of the story, and that it's the shaping cause of the story, and that it's story process plus original execution. To be honest, his repeated attempts at defining it only make it a little more confusing for me, and he gives several examples that, well, just kind of further muddy the water. But I do think it's a really cool concept. And look, Truby is the guy who came up with this term, as far as I can tell, so I may have no business attempting to explain it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Truby pairs the designing principle with a premise. If the premise is about what the story is about in a nutshell, a designing principle is the nutshell explanation for how the story will be delivered. Let's say you're telling a story in which a girl befriends an elderly neighbor of hers, and the two of them become vigilantes taking out local gang members one by one. There's your premise. A misfit teen and a lonely grandmother team up to fight crime. Now, on top of a premise, you might layer several things. The genre, for instance. Is this going to be an action, a thriller, a horror? How about its relation to reality? Is it going to be realist, hyper-realist, exaggerated and over the top, fantastical? And what about the style of delivery or the tone of the story? Is it going to be a comedy, a drama, a musical? Is it going to be a novel in letters? And then there's POV stuff, first person versus third person, which character has the main vantage point, present tense, past tense. There are so many considerations, it can get a little overwhelming, but the designing principle is the base strategy for the delivery of the story, taking some of these things into account. O Brother, Where Art Thou is a satirical Depression-era retelling of Homer's Odyssey, set in the rural South and featuring a lot of musical interludes. That's not what the story is about, but it's how this story is different from other stories that might depict an escaped convict trying to win back his wife. So, the designing principle is the basic strategy for how the story's premise will be delivered. All right, thank you.